Hi everyone, welcome to Marketing Made Easy channel. Today we are going to discuss women entrepreneurship, which is a very important subject for all management students as well. Then this is also going to be helpful for MBA students, BBAs, PGDM and those students who are appearing for UGC NET examination and those people who have chosen management as their option for UPSC and other exams. So in this video, I am going to cover all these three things: role, importance, profile and problems. So I want to discuss these two, but before that I want to share a little about two important reports. One is the Global Entrepreneurship Monitor report, that's of 2019, that's about women entrepreneurship. Second is a report which is published by Azim Premji University about micro enterprises in India, a multidimensional analysis. This was published in October 2019. So, what does the Global Entrepreneurship Monitor about women say? It says women entrepreneurship results in jobs, trade and economic development. Plus, their involvement could help investors providing fund to the entrepreneurs, and in particular, it might also help the family members. Plus, most important is it helps to grow and sustain family businesses and communities. That is why the role is very high for women entrepreneurs. Then, the second important aspect which the Global Entrepreneurship Monitor talks about is, it says globally 27% of women entrepreneurs reported starting a business out of necessity than out of an opportunity, which is something very interesting and to be noted. Again, it also says something else, and this is an observation made over various countries across the globe. It says women with less education are more likely to start businesses regardless of the income level of the country, right? Very interesting, no? Then, women who are more highly educated are less likely to start businesses except in low income countries. This is something to be noted. Then, the third thing is women with more education in high income and middle income countries may find more options for employment. Then, coming to the second most important report which I want to discuss is the Azim Premji report, which I said about the micro enterprises in India. It was published in October 2019, and there are some few insights which are very important for us to understand regarding the women beat. As per the economic census data, women own 14%, that's around 8 million of all the enterprises in India, with 65%, which is a very big number of these being in rural areas. Now, this report also talks something very interesting. So, the one which we are able to see on the screen, the report says that more amount of women entrepreneurs are in these sectors. What are they? Tobacco, paper products, chemicals, apparel, textiles, plastic, beverages and education. Then, there are less number of women who are working in food, that you can see the 14.9%, retail, that is 10.5%, and health comprising of 9%. But very interestingly, there is less and very, in these sectors, especially in transport and furniture, there are less number of women entrepreneurs. Then, what is the relevance of this for us now? The relevance of this is that we need to understand how important are women entrepreneurs for a growing economy, number one. Second thing, if any one of you are aspiring to be women entrepreneurs, especially the girls and the ladies watching this particular video, I feel that you should take note of all these reports and you should go across the reports thoroughly, because these give you an indication of the opportunities that are lying around for you in various sectors. You don't have to browse so much, and these give you an idea of what is happening across India plus across the globe, right? Let's get started. So, the role of women entrepreneurs, as you see and we understand, there is a lot of role, and especially it's very crucial for the growth and development of a growing economy, right? Next. So, there are two important arguments when we talk about the role and importance of women entrepreneurs. One is the economic argument, which says that women businesses help the economy grow. And one example I brought today is about Kiran Mazumdar-Shaw. Who would not know about her? She has started her famous company called Biocon. She is one very important person who has to be spoken about when we discuss women entrepreneurship. And how she is able to generate economy growth and the development that she has done She is an inspiration to many of the other women entrepreneurs across the globe as well as in India. Second argument which I have read and understood from various literature is that social argument. So the social argument says, if you are a women entrepreneur and if you are in the initial stage of business or you have established your business, there is every chance that your confidence levels will grow, your self-esteem has a lot of difference. It's like multiplied when you talk about the importance, right? Next, let us look at certain important aspects. That is, women entrepreneurs play an important role in promoting growth and development of the country's economy according to these two people, and it plays critical role at grassroots levels. How does it play critical role at grassroots levels? You might have seen in your own neighborhoods women who are selling papad, agarbatti, homemade snacks. Then now it's a very important time also for mushroom cultivation. These people don't aim big, but they do very well at the critical grassroots levels because they not only get employed, but they also are showing employment to many other rural women. Next, it also improves their social, educational and health status. How does it improve their social, educational and health status? When it comes to social status, people start respecting those women who are financially independent and who can run other businesses, right? Then, regarding the educational aspect, so if those people who are, running their own businesses, they can contribute to the economy, they can give lot of impetus to education. Then health. So in rural especially, we notice that many deaths are happening because people are not very aware of certain hygiene practices. So this can actually help them form their networks and help them grow together. Then, providing prosperity to small scale entrepreneurs. So how does women entrepreneurship do this? Small scale entrepreneurs are very, very significant in a country like India, right? So it provides a lot of prosperity to small scale entrepreneurs, and it is also gaining importance in public policy circles. So how does it gain importance in public policy circles? So just now I mentioned to you about Kiran Mazumdar-Shaw. She is a very important person and her voice is very important. Similarly, there are so many famous businesswomen across India, like, Ella Bhatt of Seva, who has a very strong hold in Seva, which helps a lot of women who are in micro enterprises. So there has to be a platform for micro enterprises. Then providing employment and economic independence. Yes, as I mentioned, it also provides economic independence because it gives financial freedom to the women who are taking up these things. And providing employment, of course, sure, because there are a lot of funds as well today, which have, like, for example, Saha funds, which have exclusively come up for funds for those women who are, doing lot of women related enterprises. And Government of India is also supporting women entrepreneurs through various initiatives that are there across. Then I will take you through few segments of women entrepreneurs. So basically we can see these 4 segments starting from grassroots entrepreneurs, like I mentioned to you. These women entrepreneurs who are grassroots entrepreneurs can be found across your neighborhood and vicinity. You can just look around and you see all those self-help groups, especially in our places it's the Dwakra, and in Kerala like places it's the Kudumbashree, and across various parts of the globe there are so many grassroots entrepreneurs who are doing extremely well and their business levels are kind of up to 5 lakhs. Then you have your category of self-help, exclusive self-help groups, which are basically on microfinance, which take little amount of money and then they start doing their businesses, try to explore certain things. They also look at trading options or making something from homes. Then you have the mid-rank entrepreneurs whose financial turnover aspiration is from 50 lakhs to 1 crore. They will be like, starting their enterprises to just support their families, and they don't want not to lose the balance between the family and the business. Then you have the upper crust people who aim for 5 crores and above. We have ample examples. If you take any other food startup, say, for example, Fresh Menu. We have Rashmi Daga, who started a Fresh Menu startup in the food sector. And something unique about her is that she is the only founder of the food startup, whereas we see the other food startups being co-founded by 2-3 members. Profile of women entrepreneurs, we can see that, their education, as per their education is concerned, most of the women entrepreneurs are college educated. So they are undergraduates or so. Then coming to their work experience, and when researchers started trying to profile them, Regarding their work experience, all these women entrepreneurs are mostly having some 2 years experience in some previous ventures, which tells them how to do their businesses. Like, for instance, I want to talk about Anita Dongre, who is a very famous fashion entrepreneur. She has started in 1999 with 2 sewing machines, and with the help of her family members, she has now excelled very well, and she is having her house of Dongre. And she also has worked in a retailing company for 1 year, and she exclusively learned all the tricks and tactics of working in a retail business. And it was not an easy journey for Anita Dongre to reach what she is today. And you all might have seen that, when Kate Middleton came to India, she wore the clothing of Anita Dongre, and that became very, very popular, right? Next, regarding the age, researchers have told that women entrepreneurs, generally their profile is that their age group is 30 plus, and after their marriage, most of them are likely to start. Plus, there are 2 important aspects which are internal, that is their ambiguity. There is a little ambiguity about what to take up, whether to take up or not, and the confidence levels are a little not then higher. Next, there are other profiles. So, what is the other profile? It is not either high risk nor a low risk, but it is medium risk. That's what they want to take. Plus, in the profile, they are looking for independence. It could be financial, economic, some kind of free idea of thoughts. Then, there are certain things. They need training, which is very important. Plus, as we discussed earlier regarding the Azim Premji University report, most of them are into small business enterprises. They also need some kind of report regarding 3 most management aspects, that is regarding the HR management, then the financial flows, also the marketing. So, this comprises the profile of women entrepreneurs. Next comes the problems. These are little very different for various women across globe for various reasons according to the context and the ecosystem that they are living in. So, the first problem is no independence. Most of them feel caged at homes, not being able to do, and this is one reason. Then comes the social attitude. Various parts of the geography in the world dictate certain kinds of social attitudes, because of which they are not able to come out of their homes and do what they want to do. Then when it comes to literacy, they are low literate. So, like as I told you in the beginning of the report, there is a chance that people who are less literate are trying to start something of their own because of the necessity, not because of the opportunity. You should remember that. Then comes the low risk bearing capacity. This is one more important aspect. Earlier, there were no funds which were catering to women entrepreneurs regarding the funding. So, that was one reason why they used to close their shops very soon. Next, these are the other important problems. One is the financial constraints of getting the capital and things like that. And the moment women entrepreneur goes seeking for funds, it is most of the people are not willing to share. Next, marketing problems are huge in number, and there is a limited mobility. People can't move around. Women entrepreneurs can't be expected to jump around cities because of their family constraints. Then they have the dual responsibility always of balancing work and life, right? Next, these are the psychosocial barriers. So, what do I mean by psychosocial? So, I brought to you one example today. It's about Kalpana Saroj. So, I'll tell you what the psychosocial barriers are first. Poor self-image, inadequate motivation, discriminating treatment, faulty socialization, role conflict, and cultural values. So, I have thought a lot, and I was thinking whom should I bring around for the example. So, Kalpana Saroj fits into all these things. She had a very bad childhood, and she was married off early, and because of that she had a very poor self-image, but also there were no people to motivate her, and she had faced all kinds of discrimination, right from caste to being a low economic income group person and things like that. Then faulty socialization is when women go around doing businesses. There is every chance for people talking nonsense about them, and also their mental image also gets degraded over a period of time because of the lack of self-confidence. Then the role conflict of balancing again the home as well as the families. But Kalpana came out very strongly out of the difficulties that she had, out of the distress that she has faced. You all should browse about her. Her organization is Kamani, and she has done very well, and she has not done well in a year or so. It is out of all the years of her hard work that she has done very well. Then regarding the cultural values, so certain geographies and certain cultures gives impetus to the women entrepreneurs, supporting them with lot of mechanisms. Then the other psychosocial barriers are lack of courage and self-confidence. Here I would like to bring to your notice one woman called Shraddha Sharma. She has started her website called Your Story, and through her website she gives lot of information about the entrepreneurs. Today it is, I should say, the one best platform for all kinds of details, not only about women entrepreneurs but male entrepreneurs as well. So you should definitely browse this particular website called Your Story. And here, the lack of courage and self-confidence. So, lack of courage and self-confidence, inadequate encouragement, lack of social acceptance, unjust social, economic and cultural system, lack of freedom of expression, afraid of failures and criticism. So, when Shraddha Sharma started off in Bihar, she tells about her journey in one program called Josh Talks, which you all should definitely hear. She tells us that, people have tried to discourage her a lot. And when she came to a big city like Delhi, she again felt the cultural shock and how she was not socially accepted by them. And she always mentions that, that made me realize that my role is very much there in this women entrepreneurship sector. And I wanted to bring about the stories of various people who are struggling to make their mark in their life. So, there are also people who have lack of the freedom of expression. They can't express their ideas because of the hurdles of the social barriers. Then they also are equally afraid of failures and criticism, out of which many people do not come forward. 10 people try to criticize, oh, what big are you going to do? Or, maybe in some movies we see certain words which are like, intimidating the women who are trying to come into business. Then these are the last category of psychosocial barriers, that is susceptibility to negative attitudes. So there is a danger that the family might influence saying that what can you go out and achieve, or the colleagues and the friends might say you might better as well stick to normal ordinary job. So if you just look at the startup arena of India today, there are so many women who've done very well, like Chumbak is doing well, LimeRoad, and then you have Zivame. All these kinds of brands are by startups who have, out of their hurdles they have come, and they have been co-founded by women. Zivame has been founded by one lady called Richa Kar. Then, non-persistent attitude. So, they start off well, but somewhere in between, the kind of persistence might not hang on to them. Low dignity of labor, yes, and then lacking of all the managerial skills. According to the Global Entrepreneurship Monitor report also, it says that when they observed why women are shutting down the shops or closing their businesses, one important reason they have understood it that it's not due to lack of capital, but due to lack of training sometimes, they shut down their businesses, right? Then, I want to talk about these two organizations which are doing very well, and this is regarding the women entrepreneurship development. So, ALEAP is one organization which is called the Association of Lady Entrepreneurs of India, which is doing very well, started by Ramadev Garu. And this kind of gives a platform for women who are across all sectors, like the sectors that I discussed. Self-help groups, grassroots entrepreneurs, mid-rung and upper crust. Everybody can be a part of that. And now they also have floated one portal where you can sell your products online. Then we have the VHub, which is doing very well in Telangana, which is again for women and for startups especially. This is doing a very big job. So you can follow the Twitter, you can understand what are the activities that are happening, right? Then, so what is the task that I'm going to give to you? Right, I have two tasks for you. One, try speaking to any women in your neighborhood or your town regarding her experiences, because experiences only can teach you better. It's not theory which is going to help you. Second thing, please do write in the comment section below who is your favorite entrepreneur. I wish you all success, and you should do well in exams, taking all these inputs. Not only that, if you have dreams, do follow your dreams and succeed. And please help me also follow my dreams by subscribing to my channel. Thank you.